Hey guys, it's Courtney here from flynnknit. Today I'm going to show you how to make a basic yarn pom-pom. So what you'll need is a pair of sharp scissors, some pom makers, whichever size you choose, it just depends. I'm using some clover pom makers. There's a small, medium, and a large, and I will be using the medium size today. You'll need a little bit of extra scrap yarn to tie off your pom at the end. You don't need too much, just enough to be able to get around that pom and make a knot. And then you'll need whatever yarn you choose to make your pom with. So here is the pom maker. It has two sides that open. You can open both sides if you want to start to make it. And this is just usually the way I start. Move these scissors out of the way there. So what I like to do is be as even as possible when I'm wrapping. So you have your pom maker open, and you can start from either side. I like to start from this side, and I like to keep my yarn then over to the right side to prevent it from kind of tangling around the pom maker. So you can use your thumb or whatever way works best for you. I kind of hold it in place until I can wrap that yarn around there. And then once it's secure, kind of go as evenly as I can until you reach the other side. You might have some spaces like I'm seeing right now, but that's okay. And then you're gonna double back and kind of fill in those spaces. Get all the way to the end there. Comes my ball of yarn. And you're just going to keep wrapping as evenly as possible. If you don't wrap as evenly, what happens is your pom will turn out a little wonky. It'll be maybe more like an egg shape, or just not even around, which is also okay, because guess what? You can use your scissors and just trim it down to a better shape that maybe looks a little more round. So I just keep going around here until you get the thickness you want. I like a nice dense pom, so I tend to wrap it pretty thick and tight there. All right, so that looks pretty good. You can see I've got it around, could go to the end here. And then you're gonna take your scissors and you're gonna trim that little bit. And then you close up that end and just keep it there. And then I flip it around to the other side. And we're gonna do the exact same thing. So you're gonna kind of hold it down with your thumb until you get it, oopsie, until you get it secure there. And then you start with one end and you just keep going around. Try and fill in all those little spaces as you go. As evenly as you can. And you want both sides to be kind of the same thickness. So, you know, you kind of gauge what you had on the other side to make sure that this side is as similar as it can be. Getting closer to the end here. You also want to be careful not to get your yarn wrapped around those little feet. Sometimes a little piece will come off here and you just kind of move it back into place. This one is going pretty smoothly here, not having that trouble, but sometimes when you get to the end like here, it can slip. So you just want to make sure you get it as even as possible. All right, so this looks about the same thickness as my other side, so I'm just going to cut it off here. I can move my yarn out of the way, and then I've got my scrap yarn that I'll use to tie it. So again, you're just going to close this up, and now you have both sides of the yarn. Move this to the side a little so all the pieces don't get in the way. You're going to grab your scissors. You're going to turn this to the side. I usually just hold it like this, and you find the beginning part here of your pom maker, and all you're going to do is you're going to snip. Just keep going along until you reach the end. There you go. And then I just kind of turn it in my hand. I'm gonna make sure it stays closed and doesn't start opening on itself. Get all those little straggly pieces. I tend to make really short snips because it's hard to cut through so much yarn even with sharp scissors. Okay, and you can see the side's starting to open up a little bit there. That's okay, just kind of keep it closed. Then you're gonna wanna grab your scrap yarn. And because this is just a solid pom where there's no real top or bottom, it doesn't matter where you tie it. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna find that little crack, that groove in between the pom maker, and you're gonna push down as tight as you can. And I usually just then stand it up. So I had it over here, stand it on its head there, and I'm going to tie just as tight as I can. You really want to make it tight so those little pieces don't fall out. And then I take it and I flip it over, and here's where I'm going to make my knot. You want to make sure you get into that groove space, and you pull it as tight as you can again, and then you're going to make that knot. And now once you have it secure, you can open your pom maker. So you go to those little tabs, and I'm going to pull this side open, and then I'm going to pull this side open, and then you just take the two pieces apart. We don't need those anymore. And here you have your pom. Now you can tell there's a few little pieces here I'm going to want to trim off, so you simply take your scissors, just eyeball it, and see what looks good. Maybe a little more trim here. And there you have it. There's your basic pom. And then you can tie this onto any hat or whatever you might be making with it. Thanks. Follow me on Instagram at flynnknit to see what I'm working on next.